Okay, that's the blouse. Next is the navy suit jacket.
Got it. I managed to fit the shoes in the side compartment.
Yeah. You're so
The
organized.
night
I
everything
would be
broke
lost
didn't
without
start
you.
with anger. It started with confidence, hers, not mine. The kind of confidence people have when they believe they're untouchable. I came home earlier than usual, hoping for a quiet evening. Instead, I heard laughter before I even got the door closed. A man's voice, comfortable, familiar in a way it had no right to be. When I stepped into the living room, I didn't shout. I didn't even drop my keys, I just stood there and observed. My wife, Olivia, was leaning against the kitchen island, a wine glass in her hand, laughing a little too easily. And sitting on our couch with his shoes off and his jacket draped over a chair was her boss, Daniel Mercer. He looked like he owned the place. Daniel stood up slowly, extending a hand that felt more like a challenge than a greeting. "You must be the husband," he said, with a thin smile. "Olivia talks about you." She didn't correct him. She didn't say a word. That silence told me everything I needed to know. Daniel spoke freely, without a hint of fear. He talked about their work trips, about how valuable Olivia was to him and the pressures of leadership. He wasn't being subtle. He didn't have to be. In his mind, he had already won. Before he left, he looked straight at me and said something I'll never forget. "Some people are meant to build. Others are meant to benefit from proximity." Then he smiled and walked out. That was the moment I stopped being emotional and started being precise. I didn't confront Olivia that night. I let her talk, let her downplay it all. She framed it as work stress, ambition, a simple misunderstanding. I just nodded and went to bed while she stayed up, endlessly scrolling through her phone. Financial movements that didn't quite match her salary. A clear pattern of work trips that aligned perfectly with Daniel's schedule. This wasn't an affair born of passion. It was a transaction. Calculated. What Daniel didn't know was that my job wasn't small. It was invisible. I specialized in compliance audits and corporate risk mitigation. I didn't threaten him. I didn't warn him. I studied him. And Olivia wasn't just his employee, she was his accountant, his firewall. So I quietly copied everything. When I finally made my move, it was clean. First, the divorce filing, no drama, no accusations. Just cold, hard evidence. Olivia panicked when she realized I wasn't going to negotiate. She tried apologizing, crying, making promises. But it was far too late for that. Then came the regulators. An anonymous, highly detailed, and verifiable report landed on just the right desk. It was impossible to ignore. Audits began, followed by subpoenas. Daniel's public confidence evaporated almost overnight. The last time I saw him was on the news, looking defeated. Olivia lost her job within weeks. I didn't destroy her. The truth simply doesn't protect collaborators. She tried to reach me once, asking for help, for forgiveness, for my silence. I gave her none of it. Months passed. The house was sold, my life became simpler. The constant tension was replaced by a quiet calm. I started rebuilding, slowly and intentionally. People would ask me if it felt like revenge. It didn't, it felt like balance. Daniel thought power meant being dominant. Olivia thought security came from being close to that power. They both misunderstood something fundamental. Real power doesn't need to announce itself. It waits, it documents. And when it finally moves, it doesn't need to raise its voice. They walked into my home thinking they owned the narrative. They left without one. Thanks for watching. If this story resonated with you, consider subscribing for more content like this.